Hi there. Welcome to Every Tiny Victory. My name is Crystal, and I'm a 40-something-year-old woman living in Houston, Texas. I'm on a journey to get my health back on track after receiving a life-changing diagnosis of type 2 diabetes in December 2023. What you're seeing here is a little bit of my morning commute. On this day, I did some highway driving, which is definitely not the norm for this time of the year. Hello, it's Crystal with Every Tiny Victory coming to you again from my lunch break. I'm taking my lunch early, well, I guess a little more regular time for people. It is currently 1:22 and I have a meeting at 2, so that's when I'm going to end my lunch. But I've been experimenting, like I said, with my meal planning this week, and I may have to make some adjustments, once I get through my meals this week. And I wanted to tell you a little bit about that and a conversation I had with a friend recently, and a quote that is helping me to just kind of refocus a little bit. So, thank you for joining me today. Let's get into it. So I'll just kind of talk about my lunch. I don't know if you can see that. No, you're not going to be able to see that. It's kind of fuzzy. But it is my breakfast taco in a bowl, so there's no tortilla. I felt like I already had enough carbs with the potatoes, the fried potatoes. It's got chorizo and eggs and cheese and salsa, so there's quite a bit of carbs in here already. But it's so good. Um, I thought that I might be able to incorporate, this amount of potatoes, like the fried potatoes, because they are being reheated, and I found that I can tolerate starches and carbohydrates a little bit more, a little better, if they are cooked and then reheated later on. Unfortunately, maybe fried potatoes are not the deal for me because they did cause some spikes yesterday. After I had my breakfast bowl, I believe it was like in the 160s, and then even my spaghetti was, I want to say, like in the 170s or low 180s. And that's not terrible, but I'm really trying to keep the upper limit of my glucose spikes at 150. So I'm not one to waste food, and I've already prepped everything for this week, so I'm going to eat the food that I prepared, but I will make adjustments, moving forward, and I'll discuss those results when I visit with my dietitian the next time. I had a conversation with a friend last night, and we were talking about, reading and whether audiobooks count. And I guess I have just been, I don't know, maybe critical of myself, thinking, that if I'm not turning pages, then, I'm not actually reading. But, in that conversation, she made the comparison that, if she reads aloud to her, children that, maybe can't read yet or want to hear a story, it doesn't mean that they're not getting the information. They're not learning about the story, the characters, and, everything that's going on in the book. And, so I kind of felt like, yeah, that's right. It's reading, but just in a different form. And the types of books that I've been listening to on audiobooks are a lot different than I might normally read. I guess like way back when I was reading for fun. I'm reading a lot of like self help books, therapy books, um, you know, things about diabetes or managing diabetes. So there are different topics, and I just find that I'm able to focus on like my activities, my hands, my body, my feet. I'm able to do other tasks while I'm listening, and it's keeping my mind engaged, and I'm learning something new. So I like that part of it, being able to like basically multitask. So if you count audiobooks as reading actual books, then I've actually read 9 books since April. And I haven't talked about all of them because some of them, like I said, are therapy books or self-help books and stuff like that. And I know that some of the topics that I picked are specific to my situation. And I'm okay with talking about my business, like obviously, but I don't want to. I guess, give more information about my loved ones than is necessary. So I've read, like I said, 9 books since April through audiobooks, but I'll just kind of talk about the ones that I feel are that I'm comfortable talking about with relation to myself. So I have several, to be read books that are coming up available, and several actually that are work related. So, I mentioned that I work in a community college. You can kind of see my surroundings behind me, but the landscape of higher education is changing very rapidly, and a lot of the books that are out there with regards to students going to college, picking the right college for them, financing their education, are so out of date, and they're just a couple of years old. There's been a lot of changes to FAFSA just in the past year, and then now with the current administration, there are so many other changes that are being rolled out and become effective August 1st. So there's just so much that is different. So some of the books that I'm listening to are helpful just for like contextual knowledge, but the emerging research is what I'm gonna have to start delving into. And like I said, I'm the kind of person, I just like to read a lot of things, get as much knowledge about something to inform decisions that I make. And so there's a lot of things that I'm trying to, I guess, put together and plan for and prepare for. And so I can see myself doing quite a bit of research here in the next, I would say like in the next month before we start the fall semester. So I'm happy to have the intellectual stimulation again, with the audiobooks and everything, and now with continued research for my work. I just wish it wasn't all so, I guess, crash coursey. It feels quite quick. But anyway, that's kind of what I have going on with my audiobooks and my meals. Now I wanted to talk to you about a quote that I just read recently and saved because it was very impactful to me. So the quote that I saved, or that I came across and saved, is you are the greatest project that you'll ever work on. Restart, reset, refocus. As many times as you need, just don't give up. And I can say that, I had several challenges over the past, 10, 15 years or so. And it's been, it's been a challenge for a number of different reasons, family-wise, personal-wise, health-wise. Goodness, I don't know if you guys can hear that thunder, but I'll put some pictures, but you can kind of see now things are getting dark and dreary outside and the thunder's rolling in. But anyway, that quote is something that just kind of helped me to remember that I'm the one that is responsible for myself. And it's hard to do, I think, when you struggle with mental health issues, or if you have medical issues that are going on, or like I said, way very early on when I started my channel, if you are a caregiver for other people, it's super easy to put yourself on the back burner and put everybody else's priorities ahead of yours. But you have to remember that you are the greatest project that you'll ever work on. If you have kids or you have other people that depend on you, you know that there's a limit, right? So at some point you can continue doing for others, but will you be enjoying it? Will you have a smile on your face? Is it something that you're going to be doing out of love and out of service for them, or is it something that you're going to be doing begrudgingly out of obligation? And I think I got to a point like that with myself, because, as you know, Michael and I don't have any kids or anything, or pets, or we have some plants that have survived, but, it's just the two of us. And so when you start to lose focus on that, I feel like, at least in my experience, everything else just kind of got out of whack. So I'm learning to reprioritize, revisiting the things that I know work for me, the things that help me to be in a good mental state. So like journaling, at least writing, and getting thoughts out of my head, so that I don't like obsess or, build up anxiety about certain things. I remember taking a social media fast, actually a TV and social media fast several years ago. And I don't think I owned a TV for several years. And I remember just having so much mental clarity, still being able to be aware of current events and other things, but not being consumed by them. And so when I was visiting with my friend last night, I was, just letting them know, yeah, I'm taking a social media break, because I felt like the things that I was seeing were consuming me, and I don't like that feeling. I don't like that feeling, and I felt like I just needed to put a pause on all that stuff. I'll revisit it at some point in the future, but I'm okay with continuing to post, just not consuming everything that's out there. So reminding myself to restart, reset, and refocus, to keep up this great science experiments that I am. And I know that things are getting better because I can see, my blood sugar's coming down, my labs are getting better. I think I mentioned, my weight has started to drop again. And I have some exciting things happening, at least in the wardrobe department, that I'll share about probably later this week. But I'm currently wearing some pants and I'm having to keep up with the safety pin. So I think that's a good sign. But that's the end of what I wanted to visit about today. So I appreciate you guys if you're enjoying your lunch, or just taking a break or whatever. Appreciate you spending some time with me. And hopefully you're safe and having a great day so far, and looking forward to the rest of the week. I forgot to tell you that I love you. So I love you so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye. This is so good. Hopefully you can't hear me chewing. But also, I don't care. It's good.